Imagine this. You're nearing the final leg of a long marathon. You've overcome so much, sacrifices, joys, challenges, and now you're at that crucial point where every step counts. One misstep could have serious consequences. And then, just when you're almost there, someone shows up trying to block your path. A family member, a friend, maybe even a neighbor. But the last thing you need at this stage of life is to take on the weight of others' demands. You're not here to play the role of anyone's savior. You don't have to sacrifice your peace for empty promises or guilt that isn't even yours to bear. This is your life, and it's time to focus on that. Let's make this clear. There are people who ask for things they shouldn't, things that drain your time, energy, and even your peace of mind. These requests are a direct threat to your happiness, and they should never be allowed. Have you ever felt like you're an emotional ATM, or worse, like you're rowing a sinking boat while everyone else stands by? We're here to open your eyes and speak the truth that others won't. In this video, we'll discuss 5 things that no one should ask from you at this stage of your life. These things steal your peace, and anything that does that isn't worth your time. Stay with us until the end. It might be the sign you need to close doors you should never have opened. The first request is being asked to take responsibility for something that isn't yours. How many times have you said yes to something, knowing deep down that it wasn't your problem? Too many times, right? It starts innocently. A small favor, a request for help, just this once, or a little emergency. And before you know it, you're dragged into something that isn't your responsibility at all. What began as helping out turns into carrying the weight of everything. And the longer it goes on, the harder it is to let go. Think about it. What happens when a rope keeps getting pulled while it's already worn out? It snaps. That rope is you. You were used as a lifeline, and now they expect you to keep it afloat. But you're not a lifeline, and you don't have to be. What's at stake here isn't just your time or money. It's your peace, your emotional well-being, and your life. Being asked to take on what's not yours is like having a heavy load dumped on you with no help, and you carry it out of love, out of a desire to help, out of fear of being seen as selfish. But here's the truth. That's not helping. That's abuse. You've done your part, raised children, worked hard, loved, sacrificed. So why keep holding on to something that was never yours? You're not a bank, but people ask for money. You're not a babysitter, but people leave their kids with you, expecting you to raise them. You're not a nurse, but everyone expects you to care for them without asking how you're doing. And if you say no, if you set boundaries, suddenly you're the bad guy. Who's holding those people accountable for putting you in that position? Many take advantage of your kindness, seeing you as a resource instead of a person. That hurts because you give everything, and they return nothing but more demands. You deserve more than that. How much longer will you let yourself be used like this? This isn't love, it's emotional abuse. And it doesn't matter if it's coming from a child, a sibling, or a friend. If people are overwhelming you with things that aren't yours to carry, stealing your peace, you don't have to accept it. You don't need to say yes just because it's hard to say no when someone's crying, speaking sweetly, or emotionally blackmailing you. This is when you need to ask yourself, why should I pay the price for their mistakes? This isn't selfishness. It's about respect, and it starts with respecting yourself. If you don't set boundaries, no one else will. Continuing to accept other people's burdens will leave you drained and frustrated. That's a mistake you simply can't afford. Life is short, and at this stage, you deserve peace. You deserve time for yourself to enjoy what you've built, to rest, to do what you've always dreamed of. Not to put out fires that others started or be the support system for people who refuse to stand on their own. Open your eyes. If you feel like a prisoner to other people's responsibilities, it's time to break free. This isn't about offering help in difficult times. It's about carrying loads that were never yours. Don't do it. Let go of guilt and emotional debts that don't belong to you. Life doesn't wait, and the things you ignore today will only weigh heavier tomorrow. Ask yourself again, why are you carrying all of this? And if you can't find a good reason, it's time to let go. Because no one will take better care of you than you can take care of yourself. Let's talk about another common request, lending money. Unless it's a true emergency, don't even think about it. Picture this. You're enjoying your morning coffee, peacefully gazing out the window. Suddenly your phone rings. It's someone close to you, maybe a child, a sibling, or an old friend. The call feels unusual because they rarely reach out. When you pick up, you realize they're not checking in, they're asking for money. And it's not a one-time favor. It starts with a loan, and before you know it, it's a bottomless pit. What seems like a simple act of kindness can become one of the worst decisions of your life. Lending money at this point is like handing over the keys to your home and hoping they come back untouched. But how many times have you heard stories of loans that were never repaid? It's sad, but true. Once you lend money, you often lose your peace of mind, your emotional stability, and sometimes even your trust. This is the time in your life to enjoy the calm you've earned, not to risk it. Lending money now could be one of the most expensive decisions you'll make. This isn't selfishness, it's self-respect. What seems like a noble act today could lead to personal disaster tomorrow. Imagine if, due to a health issue, you needed the money you lent out. What would you do then? It's not about being stingy. It's about protecting yourself from being left with nothing while others take advantage of your kindness. This isn't about being selfish. It's about protecting yourself from unnecessary, painful consequences. When you lend money, you're risking more than just your finances. You're risking your peace of mind, your happiness, and your well-being. If you've worked hard to build your life, why allow someone to take it away with one bad decision? Let's talk about another form of manipulation: emotional blackmail. If you're my family, you have to help me, they might say. When you hear these words, that's when emotional blackmail shows up. You start feeling trapped, manipulated by guilt, as if saying no is unforgivable. But here's the truth. You are under no obligation to save anyone if it means drowning yourself in the process. Your life is yours to live. If you're not happy, change. Continuing to row a sinking boat isn't heroism, it's self-destruction. We often don't realize when someone is taking advantage of us. But this isn't about extreme situations like a medical crisis. It's about the constant favors that drain you, leaving you empty while the other person carries on as if nothing's wrong. Once your resources are drained, there's no going back. You're not in a position to start over. This is the truth, and it's something you can't ignore. In conclusion, your peace of mind is priceless. Don't allow anyone to rob you of it. Life is too short to keep living for others. It's time to put yourself first. You've earned the right to enjoy what you've built, and you don't owe anyone an explanation for it. Set healthy boundaries and live the life you've worked so hard for. Don't let anyone steal your happiness. If you've reached this point, you've already made a powerful decision to protect your peace. But sometimes, life has a way of challenging those decisions, testing whether you'll hold firm or give in. And the hardest part? Recognizing when you've allowed others to take too much and when it's time to take back control. One of the most common traps people fall into is the endless cycle of putting others' needs before their own. Whether it's a child, a sibling, or a close friend, the pressure to be there for everyone can feel overwhelming. And let's be honest, the more you give, the more people will take. But here's where you need to pause and ask yourself, is this sustainable? Is it fair to keep sacrificing your peace for people who are not offering the same in return? You have every right to live your life on your terms. You've worked hard to get to this point, to build a life of stability, happiness, and peace. Don't let anyone undermine that, no matter how close they are. When someone asks you to compromise your well-being, whether it's your emotional health or your happiness, it's time to stand up for yourself and say, enough is enough. This doesn't mean cutting people out of your life or being cold. It means recognizing your worth and your needs. It means acknowledging that your emotional well-being is just as important as anyone else's. No one should make you feel guilty for taking care of yourself, for prioritizing your happiness. And if they do, that's a sign that it's time to reassess that relationship. Remember, true love, true friendship, and true family should never come with an unspoken price tag. If someone is making you feel like you're obligated to sacrifice your well-being, they're not showing you the love and respect you deserve. It's up to you to create boundaries that protect your peace, that safeguard your energy, and that ensure you're not drained by the expectations of others. Letting go of guilt, letting go of the need to please everyone, is liberating. It's a process, and it can be difficult, but it's necessary for your emotional survival. If you continue to allow others to take advantage of your kindness, you'll lose sight of what truly matters: your own happiness and peace. So, learn to say no. Learn to protect your time, your emotions, and your energy. At the end of the day, this is your life. No one can live it for you, and no one should dictate how you should feel, how you should live, or what you should give. You are entitled to peace. You are entitled to rest. You are entitled to enjoy what you've worked so hard for without guilt or obligation weighing you down. So, the next time someone asks you to take on something that isn't yours to carry, ask yourself, is this really my responsibility? Is this worth my peace? And if the answer is no, don't hesitate to say no. Your well-being matters more than anything else. Protect it fiercely. Because when you protect your peace, you protect your happiness, and ultimately you protect your life. And remember, peace isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. Never feel guilty for choosing it. You've earned it. It's time to recognize that you are the guardian of your own happiness. The world will always ask more from you, but it's your responsibility to decide what you're willing to give. Every person you meet, every interaction you have, should either add value to your life or teach you something valuable. Anything that drains you, that keeps you stuck in a loop of guilt or obligation, isn't worth keeping in your life. This phase of life is yours to savor, and you deserve to enjoy it fully. After all the years of hard work, sacrifice, and effort, this is your time to live freely, without the weight of others' demands. When you prioritize your peace, you are giving yourself the opportunity to truly live, not just survive. You've worked so hard to build the life you have now, and it's time to defend it. It's not selfish to choose peace. It's wise. It's a declaration that you are in control of your destiny. Your choices matter, and your peace is non-negotiable. When you say no to things that disrupt your well-being, you are protecting the most valuable thing you have, your mental and emotional health. When others ask for too much, don't feel pressured to comply just to avoid conflict. You have the right to set boundaries, and you have the right to defend them. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you someone who knows their worth. Don't allow the opinions of others to dictate how you should live. Your needs are just as important as anyone else's, and you are not obligated to sacrifice your happiness for others' comfort. If you've been feeling weighed down by obligations that aren't yours, it's time to reevaluate your relationships. Real love and true friendship don't come with expectations that force you to compromise who you are. People who truly care about you will respect your boundaries and appreciate your needs. In the end, the choice is yours. You have the power to decide who gets to be in your life, what kind of energy you allow into your space, and what demands you are willing to entertain. And when you make those decisions based on your peace and well-being, you open the door to a life full of freedom, joy, and fulfillment. So as you move forward, remember to honor your time, your energy, and your mental health. Life is too short to live for others at the expense of your own happiness. Take care of yourself, set clear boundaries, and don't be afraid to say no when necessary. Your peace of mind is the most precious thing you have, and it's worth protecting at all costs. You've worked too hard to get here, and now is the time to enjoy the fruits of your labor without guilt, without obligation, and without fear. Embrace the peace you deserve, because when you protect your own peace, you can give your best self to the world without feeling depleted. Your life, your choices, and your happiness are yours alone. Hold on to them tightly and live the life you've earned. As you continue your journey, it's crucial to understand that no one can force you into a role that depletes your energy and spirit. Too often we get caught up in others' expectations, trying to meet needs that aren't even ours to fulfill. But what if you gave yourself permission to prioritize your own well-being? What if instead of constantly saying yes to everything, you learned to say no when it's necessary to protect your peace? The truth is, your time and energy are precious commodities, and they should be spent on things and people that truly enrich your life. When you give yourself permission to step back, to remove yourself from situations that drain you, you're not abandoning others. You're simply giving yourself the space to breathe, to reconnect with what truly matters. You're reclaiming your time, your peace, and your emotional well-being, and in doing so, you are allowing yourself to live a life that reflects your true values. If you feel like you've been carrying the weight of other people's problems, remember this. It's not selfish to protect your own heart and mind. It's necessary. Everyone has their own journey to navigate, their own lessons to learn, and while it's admirable to help others, you must never sacrifice your happiness for theirs. You've worked hard to create the life you have now, and it's yours to enjoy. Consider this. When was the last time you truly said no to someone who is asking too much of you? The moment you decide to stop sacrificing your peace is the moment you begin to reclaim your life. It's an act of self-respect and a recognition that you are worthy of happiness, comfort, and calm. You have every right to say no without guilt, to create boundaries that honor your needs, and to let go of relationships or obligations that only serve to drain you. You are not a martyr, and you don't need to prove your love, your worth, or your value by constantly saying yes. Your peace and happiness are the foundation of everything else in your life. Protecting them is not just a choice, it's a necessity. And once you start doing so, you'll notice that your life becomes lighter, your mind clearer, and your heart fuller. So going forward, remember this: your boundaries are sacred. Don't let anyone push you into situations that don't serve you. It's not about being cold or indifferent, it's about self-care. You deserve to be surrounded by people who respect your boundaries, who understand that your well-being matters just as much as theirs. Anything less than that is simply not worth your time or energy. In the grand scheme of life, peace is the greatest luxury you can have. It's not something to be bargained for or given up in exchange for others' comfort. It's yours to protect, to nurture, and to preserve. And when you do that, you open up the space to live a life that's truly fulfilling, joyful, and full of meaning. The choice is always yours. When you begin to prioritize yourself, something extraordinary happens. You start to notice the freedom that comes with letting go of the weight of others' demands. You create space for your own passions, your own growth, and your own sense of purpose. Life begins to feel lighter, and you stop feeling like you're simply surviving. You're finally living. Imagine a life where you're not constantly adjusting to other people's needs, but instead focusing on what brings you joy, peace, and fulfillment. This is your chance to truly live on your own terms. As you move forward, it's important to understand that boundaries are not walls. They are healthy limits that allow you to maintain your sense of self while still being able to love and care for others. Saying no doesn't mean you're rejecting someone. It means you're protecting your own well-being. It's a simple yet powerful shift in mindset. No longer do you have to carry the burden of being everyone's emotional caretaker, financial savior, or problem solver. You have the right to choose what you want to carry and what you don't. The most empowering part of this process is realizing that you are not defined by your ability to please others or to be constantly available. You are defined by your choices, your values, and your capacity for self-love. When you stop making sacrifices that deplete your energy, you will find yourself becoming more vibrant, more energized, and more alive than ever before. You'll discover that the more you take care of yourself, the better you can show up for others when it truly matters. This shift in perspective doesn't just benefit you, it also benefits those around you. When you set clear boundaries and take care of yourself, you teach others how to do the same. You show them that it's okay to say no, to step back when necessary, and to prioritize their own mental and emotional health. It's a ripple effect that begins with you, but it extends outward, creating a culture of respect and mutual care in your relationships. In your journey, there will be times when others push back or try to make you feel guilty for setting these boundaries. They may not understand at first, but that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to honor yourself, to protect your peace, and to trust that those who truly value you will respect your choices. Don't be afraid to stand firm in your decision to prioritize yourself. Your happiness is just as important as anyone else's, and it's high time you recognize that. Letting go of guilt is crucial. Guilt is a powerful emotion, but it's also one that's often used against us. It's used to manipulate, to make us feel responsible for others' emotions or outcomes. But guilt is not your truth. Your truth is that you deserve peace, you deserve joy, and you deserve to live a life that is true to who you are. When you let go of guilt, you free yourself to live authentically and to create a life that aligns with your values and desires. So as you continue down your path, remember this: your peace is priceless, and protecting it is the most loving thing you can do for yourself. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, and you don't have to say yes to every request that comes your way. You are worthy of living a life filled with joy, calm, and fulfillment. Set those boundaries, take care of yourself, and allow your life to be a reflection of your true essence. This is your time, and it's time to start living it fully. Let go of what no longer serves you and embrace the power of saying no. Trust that the right people will respect your boundaries, and the right opportunities will come when you create space for them. Your life is yours to live, and it's time to make it count. Live with intention, with clarity, and with a deep respect for your own peace. You've earned it.